Hello all. We're going to try to do a little bit of work today on the old green Wrangler. We noticed a little issue a couple of weeks back that the rear shocks have just busted themselves right the hell off. We're going to try to start here on the passenger side. I got to get all that old stuff ground off and cleaned up, and I'm going to see if I can weld the new ones that I got on and get this thing back to functioning properly. It's a little bouncy this way. I'll try to take some pics or some video along the way. We'll see how it comes out. Well, there's what I'm up against. I got to get that all ground off of there. And man, there's not a lot of room down here. This is going to kind of suck. We're going to give it a try though. We'll see what we can do. Well, much like you go to expect, when you start poking around in rusty parts of old vehicles, there's going to be holes. And sure enough, there's a nice big old hole here in the frame. Those shock mounts have space behind them, and stuff gets down in there and just starts to corrode. So it's a little dished in, and I don't know what that's from, the rust, the pressure, the stuff that was built up in there. I think I'm just going to take a nice piece, and I've trimmed this back so that it's a nice clean edge. I think I'm going to fabricate a piece, and I'm not going to try to butt it up. I'm just going to lay it into this depression and weld it real good and grind it flat so that I have a good flat surface to mount that new shock mount to. Now, obviously you can see up on top there's some opening too. I'm going to go up there and clean that out with the die grinder and figure out what I'm going to put up in there. It's not as dished in as this part back here, so I will probably just lay a nice flat piece in up there and butt weld it into the frame. But well, that's where we got to. We had a little bit of a rain delay, and I went out and got some more tools and some wheels for the grinder because there was quite a bit to do. But we're making headway. Won't get it done today, but we'll get her. Here's what things look like up on top before I start grinding and cutting some stuff away. Ain't pretty, but we'll get her. Well, since we were last here, it has been patched. It ain't pretty. Welding sucks. It's a bitch to do this overhead, and sparks laying on you. I tried to touch it up a little bit tonight, and I just can't get in here. I gotta remove some exhaust and maybe even lift this thing up another inch or two just so I can get in here with my welding hood. Their top edge there needs sealed up. I'd like to get a nice bead run across there. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to, but we're gonna try. At least the hole is patched, and this entire thing will be covered with the new bracket. Well, there we go. Top side. It sure ain't pretty, but it's on. And well, I guess I subscribe to the bigger the gob, the better the job in the welding, because it's a mess. I'm not even going to grind it. I'm just going to put some paint over it and hope for the best. We'll show the backside here in a minute. Alright, here's the backside. Again, big gob. I guess it could look worse, but it'll do. I'm hoping it'll hold. That's put on there pretty good, I think. We'll see. We'll put some shocks on it and run it, and we'll see what happens. I did a bunch of work the other day, and I didn't even think about getting the camera to film anything. But this is the driver's side rear top shock mount. And this is difficult because these are all brake lines and fuel lines that I can't really get out of the way completely, so I just got to try to work around them. I can push, back a little bit. In fact, I think I busted one of the brake lines. I'm going to have to fix that later. But we got a pretty sizable hole here that we're going to have to put a patch into. I think I got this side ground up well enough. I'm going to get in here and grind some of this thin, jagged stuff off and make some filler pieces, start to welding. Oh, it's ugly, but it'll stick. It's covering up the hole, and there's another bracket that goes on top of it, so we'll get her. All right, there it is. Majority of the repair is done, and it is ugly, but I think it's going to hold, and we'll get her painted up a little bit, cleaned up a little bit more. I'm going to fill that void with RTV, keep shit from getting down in there and rusting it out again. All right, this has been a long time coming. We're going to try to get this job finished up today. I know the lighting's not great, still got a little shade on that, but the new shock mounts are welded in. I need to get some paint on there. There is a little void behind that shock mount that I'm going to fill up with silicone RTV. Seal it up so that I don't have water getting in there and causing corrosion. That's part of the problem that I was fixing here. They broke off because the shocks were too short, but they also needed to have a little bit longer shock. I did some measuring, and this seems to be the one that I think will do a little bit better job, and it's a little bit thicker of a body too, so hopefully that'll take care of that problem and give me enough length that they won't rip the mounts off again. So let's get to her. Got a good coat of paint on there, and I have entirely packed and filled that void behind the shock mount with silicone RTV. That's probably going to take a long time to harden up, but that's fine. It's not in a stressed place. It's not going to get moved around or anything, and I am going to throw a coat of paint over top of it once it does skim up there on the top. So the other side is too hard to see with all the lines and stuff in the way, so I shot this one. Now we're going to get the new shocks mounted up and maybe get this thing back on the ground. Finally, the old Jeep got some new shocks. Now we got to test them out yet. They should be all right. They required a little bit of modification and tweaking to get them to work, but we got them in, and hopefully this will make it a better ride. Took it for a test drive. Everything was good, nice and smooth. A little bit stiffer, but no banging, no clanging, no clunking. So I think I have a winner. It's taken a little while, but well, you got to put a little bit of work into these old things, keep running, and they're a lot of fun. So thanks for coming along with me, everybody. Take care.